All right, so this video is for help and support on 8-4, problem number 13. What we see here is we have a radical term on both sides of the equation. So just like always, we want to try to get the variable all by itself. We want to try to isolate that. So now we're looking at this going, okay, what do we do? Well, there's nothing to add or subtract that's outside the radicand on the variable side. So this variable term is all by itself. So now at this point, we're going to square both sides to remove the radical signs. All right, so here's the rub here though. This gets a little sticky. Here's something we got to remember. So on this side, pretty simple, and we'll draw a little line right here. Okay, so simply here, the squared undoes the square root symbol here, which is fine. So we're just going to be left with the h minus 5 here. But on this side, be really, really careful. I want you to make sure and recognize the squared affects this and that. That pen is not working very well, so we'll throw that one away. The squared affects everything. So it's going to get rid of the square root symbol here, and then it's also going to square 2. So what we end up with is 2 squared times 3. Okay, so the squared gets rid of the square root symbol for the 3, so we're just left with the 3, no square root symbol, but then also the 2 gets squared. So let's go ahead and evaluate that. We'll extend this down a little bit more. H minus 5 equals 2 squared, which is 4 times 3. So we've got h minus 5 equals 12. Now we've got it down to something pretty simple. We're going to add 5 to both sides. So that goes away. We're left with h equals 17. So it looks really tough, but it's pretty simple. Just remember, just like with the power rule when we did our exponents, right, this power on the outside applies to each individual thing on the inside. This looks like one term, and it's one term, but there's really two separate things going on here. There's the square root of 3, and there's also the fact that that's being multiplied by 2. So this squared symbol applies to both. And that's how you do 8-4, number 13.